Every time you unbox a package from your favorite online store, grab a pizza, or move to a new house, you're holding one of the most recycled materials on Earth: cardboard. And behind the scenes, a hidden industry works around the clock to give old cardboard a second life. In fact, factories across the world recycle thousands of pounds of cardboard every minute, grinding, soaking, and pressing it into fresh, usable sheets. But how does that actually happen? How does yesterday's shipping box get turned into tomorrow's cereal carton, all in a matter of minutes? Today, we're stepping inside the roaring, soaking, slicing world of cardboard recycling, where the machines never stop and every box tells a story of rebirth. 1. Collection and sorting. The journey begins with you. The life of recycled cardboard begins long before it reaches a factory. It starts when you flatten a box and toss it into a recycling bin. From households to grocery stores to office buildings, cardboard is collected in bulk by waste management companies. These trucks deliver their loads to local recycling centers where the materials are sorted and bundled. Not all cardboard is the same. Factories prioritize corrugated cardboard, the thick, wavy kind used for shipping boxes, over thinner paperboard used in things like cereal boxes. Workers and machines sort out any contaminated materials like greasy pizza boxes, plastic tape, or wax-coated packaging. These impurities can ruin the pulp and must be removed early on. Once sorted, the cardboard is compressed into dense bales, each weighing up to a ton. These bales are shipped to recycling mills, where they'll be broken down and transformed into raw fiber again. 2. Shredding and soaking. Turning boxes into slurry. At the recycling mill, the first step is to break the bales apart and feed the cardboard into powerful shredders. These machines slice and rip the cardboard into small pieces, increasing the surface area and making it easier to process. Conveyor belts carry the shredded material to giant industrial pulpers, massive vats filled with water and rotating blades. Inside the pulper, the shredded cardboard is soaked and agitated until it disintegrates into a thick, wet slurry known as pulp. This mixture contains paper fibers, water, and small bits of leftover plastic or ink. The blades spin continuously, creating turbulence that helps separate the fibers without damaging them. Water is the key ingredient in this stage. It softens the fibers, loosens adhesives, and allows the cardboard to break down into its most basic form. Within minutes, a stack of boxes has become a soupy mess, ready to be cleaned and refined. 3. Cleaning and de-inking, removing what doesn't belong. Now that the cardboard has become pulp, it's time to purify it. The pulp mixture is pumped through a series of cleaning systems designed to remove non-fiber materials. First, centrifugal cleaners spin the pulp at high speeds using gravity to separate heavier contaminants like staples, sand, and bits of plastic. Next, the pulp moves through screens and filters that trap smaller particles, anything that can't be turned into new paper. At this stage, any leftover tape, glue, or synthetic material is extracted. In some cases, factories also use de-inking systems to remove printing ink from the original boxes. This involves air bubbles rising through the pulp, carrying ink to the surface in a process known as flotation. Workers can skim off the ink-laden foam, leaving the pulp cleaner and brighter. After cleaning, what remains is a soft, fibrous slurry, mostly water but filled with paper fibers that are ready to be reshaped into brand new cardboard. 4. Refining and mixing. Building the perfect fiber blend. Not all pulp is equal, and different types of cardboard require different fiber characteristics. That's why factories carefully mix and refine their pulp based on the product they're making next. Longer fibers create stronger, more durable cardboard, while shorter fibers may be used for inner layers or lightweight packaging. Recycled pulp is often mixed with a small percentage of virgin fiber, fresh pulp made directly from trees, to strengthen the final product. This blend helps maintain quality over many cycles of recycling, since fibers get shorter and weaker each time they're reused. Additives may be included to enhance strength, moisture resistance, or brightness. These are carefully measured and mixed into the pulp using high-powered agitators, ensuring a uniform consistency before forming begins. Once the mixture is just right, it's pumped toward the forming machine, where the pulp begins its transformation back into a solid sheet. 5. Sheet formation. From slurry to paper in seconds. The pulp arrives at the paper machine, a colossal piece of equipment that stretches over hundreds of feet. The first part of this machine is called the wet end, where the watery pulp is spread onto a moving mesh screen. As it flows out, water drains through the mesh while the fibers begin to bond together. High-speed vacuum rollers suck even more water from the forming sheet, which is still about 80% water at this stage. The forming process happens incredibly fast. The pulp goes from liquid to a damp sheet in just seconds, all while traveling hundreds of feet per minute. Next, the damp sheet enters a series of press rollers, which compress the fibers and squeeze out even more moisture. This pressure not only dries the paper, but also flattens it and increases its strength. 6. Drying and rolling. Creating endless sheets of cardboard. After pressing, the sheet moves into the drying section, a series of massive steam-heated cylinders that evaporate the remaining moisture. As the sheet winds through dozens of hot rollers, it loses nearly all of its water, eventually reaching a moisture content of less than 10%. At this point, the paper begins to look and feel like the cardboard you know, dry, stiff, and ready for use. It's passed through calendars, large, smooth rollers that give it a consistent thickness and surface texture. Once finished, the recycled paper is rolled onto huge spools called parent rolls, which can be over 20 feet wide and weigh several tons. These rolls are then slid and trimmed based on the final product's specifications, whether it's corrugated liners, folding boxes, or packaging board. 7. Shipping and reuse. The box comes full circle. The final rolls are loaded onto trucks or trains and shipped to packaging manufacturers, where they'll be turned into new cardboard boxes, cartons, and shipping containers. Some factories even operate closed-loop systems, where the boxes used by a business are recycled and returned as fresh packaging within weeks. This cycle, from box to box again, can repeat up to 5 to 7 times before the fibers become too short to reuse. And with over 90% of corrugated cardboard now being recycled in countries like the US, this closed-loop process is one of the most efficient in modern industry. Each minute, thousands of pounds of cardboard are broken down, cleaned, and rebuilt, saving trees, reducing landfill waste, and conserving massive amounts of energy and water. Cardboard recycling is one of those hidden processes that keeps the modern world running. It's fast, it's massive, and it happens constantly, minute by minute, ton by ton, across the globe. Behind every box you toss in a bin, there's an entire system of grinders, pulpers, rollers, and refiners waiting to give it a new life. So the next time you tear open a shipping box or flatten one for recycling, remember, you're not throwing it away. You're sending it on a journey back to the factory floor where it's about to become something useful all over again. If this journey from cardboard to cardboard surprised you, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating looks at how everyday materials are made, remade, and made again. What product should we follow next in its recycling loop? Drop your ideas in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and keep recycling.